Victor, would you please give us a short, brief Michael's biography?
Very well. Um, Michael was born July, July 24th, 1923, uh, uh, in Kramatorsk, USSR. Now it's known as Ukraine. And well, he was 4 years older than me, my older brother. Mm, he managed to a high school till the 8th grade, and then he rebelled, didn't want to study anymore, and he wanted to study to be an artist. So he went to a bigger city which wasn't too far from us, Rostov-on-Don, and he studied there in the Institute of Art at College of Rostov. He only studied there 1940, 1944, 1941 spring, and in 1941 in June the war started, and that ended his studies, so he came home. During the occupation, 1941 and to the end of the war, of course, there was no question to study art or anything. It was just a matter of survival, trying to make a living from day to day. After the war, we ended, or during the war, we were in central Germany, Thuringia, Gera, in a labor camp that was assigned to work on local railroad workers, just doing any manual jobs. Since since the Thuringia was first liberated by American Army, however, by Yalta Agreement it was to be occupied by Soviet Army. It was given back to Soviet Army. Before that happened, we managed to escape with the help of American Army to Bavaria. We were not the single one. There were plenty of us, those that didn't want to return to Soviet Union, because mainly though we wanted to go home after the war, it was kind of nostalgic and everything like that. We were not, it was impossible, because by the policy of the Soviet Union at that time, they made a policy that is, if you were on occupied territories, and even more, if you were in Germany, though you were in concentration camp or in labor camps, it did not matter. You were outside of the Soviet Union, and you were not trusted anymore as the citizen of the country. And consequently, they send you in labor camps to Siberia. We didn't want to spend another 10 or 25 years in Siberian camps after living through the hardships of the Second World War. So we ended up, after the war, in July, we were already in Bavaria, in Regensburg. There was a camp for displaced person, and that's where we were there till the fall of 1949. While in Regensburg, it was a more comfortable living. We were not living in a barracks or anything. It was in German it was called Siedlung for workers. However, in English it would be a settlement of the former German workers. The accommodations were good. They were private small houses for 2 apartments, and there were also bigger ones, 2-story high for 8 apartments. We lived on the first floor in one of those that had 8 apartments. We occupied first 3-room, and then later we were cramped into living 2 families in 3 rooms, sharing bathroom and dining room and kitchen. While in that camp in Regensburg, we went to study with the, well, this is a story that actually matches what I told you before. We studied in Nachwuchsgruppe for Bildender Kunstlernen. That is a group for young aspiring artists. It was conducted by German professors professionally. We were painting and drawing from life mostly there. That was nice. We attended exhibition in that city of Regensburg, which was small medieval city, but very nicely organized. Exhibition in Regensburg. We were going to Munich, also to see museums and everything like that. Then in 1949, the authorities of the camp resettled us to the camp near Munich, what's called Schleißheim. Much bigger, mostly Russian refugees of the first generation and second generation, I mean the immigrants of the, after the revolution that fled the Soviet Union, that used to live in former Czechoslovakia, Yugoslavia, France. They were gathered in that camp. It was like a Russian international there. And the refugees from the Second World War. Our camp was, I don't know, about maybe 10, 12,000 people that had the cultural facilities organized by immigrants, beautiful gymnasium, theater, and a library. Everything was fine. As a matter of fact, the public school, which included the high school, was so prestigious that students graduating from that school were able to start in the United States in the second year of university. They were admitted, because of the high standards. Yeah. In the fall of 1950, during the summer, parents were first migrated to the United States in June or July, and I came to the United States December 12, 1950. Coming to the United States, I had to, as everybody, had to find a job and do something. It didn't matter what kind of job, as long as it paid something. Nothing mattered because I was young, full of energy, and didn't mind to do any job. So it was taken, it was not tragic, it was optimistic, so you worked, you earn money, you do things what you intended to. Immediately I started looking for a place where to study art, and I found one in South Philadelphia, Fleischer Memorial. I went there, and Michael went there. Okay. Michael came later than myself, so he came in 1951 in the fall, and as soon as he came, he joined me going to Fleischer Memorial, and so on. Michael also was, first he got a job in a construction company building those houses like Lady Town, and that was developed one-story kind of houses. So he was working as a carpenter, painting the nails in the roof, So, and in that time, the artists, the Russian artists that were in the same camp that assembled here in Philadelphia, came to live here, organized a studio. It was called Studio 13 on the 13th Street downtown, around 13, and I forgot what the other street was, either Arch or Race or something. And since most of us had permanent job, Michael didn't, and we made him a director of the gallery. So Michael was sitting there speaking very broken English, and when the phone would ring, he would run away and hide in the bathroom because he didn't know what to say. So that was, well, we made a splash in a newspaper. Some reporter came from the Inquirer and made a good article. It was Michael painting baseball player, you know. So it says a Russian touch on the baseball. So, well, everything was fine, but financially we couldn't make it there. You know. So we didn't know the situation. We were optimistic, and so Michael was sitting there making maybe $10–12 per week or so, you know, painting some pictures and selling it for $10–15, you know. So, well, so we that studio existed for a couple of months. Don't make a shot, my nose is running. All right. That was a spring of '52 already. I was working on some job and stopped doing that and started looking for a freelance. Michael continued working on construction company all summer. And then I got a freelance job. At that job, well, talking among the employees, there were only what, 1, 2, 3, 2 girls, secretary, 1 girl, 1 man, young man, and myself. So 3 artists and a secretary and a boss, a small studio. They found that I have also a brother artist that can do what I do for them, you know? And they started, they tried out, that is, giving a sample for Michael to do. Michael did it. They said, sure, we can use him. And he started, though at that time I was already employed permanently with that studio, they gave Michael freelance, you know, and he quit working as a construction worker and so on. And shortly, I think, whether in the fall or early spring '53, he got a job at a big advertising agency here in Philadelphia. I forgot the name. You know. So he was employed there. And later, when I quit that studio, Container Corporation, where I worked permanently, I said, I will go to study at the academy, but I'll freelance for you. I said, why don't you hire Michael instead of me? And they hired Michael. Michael worked for Container Corporation since 1950, summer of, no, it was 52 or 54, until he quit when he started working at Tyler.
Right.
So that was what, 72 or so?
Yeah, 71.
71, 72. He didn't do too much artwork for himself as an artist, but he was in good form since he was working professionally as a designer. You know. Later, I already finished my academic studies and started teaching, and Michael got his BFA, or Bachelor of Fine Art, which he got from University of the Arts. Later he started teaching there, and then master's degree at the Tyler School of Fine Art, Temple University in Philadelphia. He got his master's, I think, in 71 or 72. And immediately he was hired by a later friend of ours, Jerome Kaplan. So he liked Michael, and he said, okay, Michael, he was here at our party, and he said, I invite you to teach at the University of the Arts as a professor of printmaking. And Michael worked there from 72 till he retired when?
1990.
What?
1990.
1990.
Yeah.
So practically he worked there for 18 years, right?
Yep.
18 years. And they had the rotating chairmanship, like for so many years there were major employees at that department, which was called printmaking department. they had a rotating chairmanship of 4 years. You know, one would finish, another would start. And so it was a successful employment. In meantime, he started doing printmaking and exhibiting. Printmaking, it was easier for Michael than myself because I started organizing studio right in the basement. So I started with etching, lithography, silkscreen, everything, and Michael was skeptical first, but then he joined in, and he spent all his time here in the basement doing everything. All these things, mainly like silkscreen and etchings and everything, was done here in our studio, which was the best. You could not find the best arrangement. It's your own. You are not responsible to anybody. You work anytime you want. You leave everything. Nobody bothers you. So there was a lot of room there. Air conditioning was not needed. Always cool during the summer. Just having fans on. So this is the background. Michael started exhibiting in the, of course, local, regional, national, and international shows. And in that sense, he was much more active exhibiting than myself. But I must admit I was lazy to exhibit. So he has to his record about, what, 80 or 100 shows or 120, something like that. Winning a lot of national, international prizes. Well, his work is here, and well, the latest award he got from American Color Print Society in 2004, right? Stella Drapkin Award.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
Stella Drapkin Award is a major award of the American Color Print Society, which is a national organization for printmakers. It's located here in Philadelphia. To the record, I got the first recipient of the Stella Drapkin Award, got the medal and lost it somewhere in a bar. That's a funny touch to it. It was a big bronze medal. Yeah. About Michael's work, it says he's a good artist. As he once in an interview he said of himself, he said, the question was, what kind of artist is? Michael said, I'm not a great artist, but I'm not bad artist, I'm a good artist. That's true, Michael is a good artist. You know. Well, his style, it's kind of silly to describe art. Art is self-describable, self-explanatory. You just look at it, contemplate, and that's what it is. You know. Explain art is like explaining music or explaining poetry, you know, why and so on and so on. It is in all forms of art, and especially in contemporary art, there's a lot of personality. Person tries to explain himself, herself. Sometimes it is successful, but most of the time it's I think it's a waste of time explaining art.